Hello, I'm Mara Jones and welcome to Caffeine TV, your daily video news brief. Here to take you through 3 headline numbers in just 3 minutes, giving you a different take on everything from housing policy to the Real Housewives. The first number up today is 5, as in 5 years. That's the length of the sentence received by Oscar Pistorius today for the murder of his girlfriend Reva Steenkamp in South Africa from Judge Masipa. Now, there were always parts of the Blade Runner story that were always hard to buy, like the fact that he couldn't put on his legs when he rushed to confront intruders who had allegedly entered his house, but did manage to put them on after he had fired 4 rounds of hollow point bullets for his 9mm pistol through the bathroom door. But hey, who am I to judge? It's for the judge. But what I am worried about is what this says about the value of the lives of women. 1 out of 3 women around the world is a victim of domestic violence, and the presence of a gun in the home here in the United States means that a woman is 5 times more likely to be killed. Now, last week, Malala Yousafzai received the Nobel Peace Prize for her work with women and girls education to telegraph the importance of the lives of women and girls. But today, the sentence handed down in South Africa by a female judge, I might add, shows that when it comes to actually doing things to demonstrate that these lives actually do matter, we have a much harder time. The next number up today is $1,800, as in $1,800 a year. Now, that's the average salary of the voter that the head of the Hong Kong government believes will end up taking over elections if everyone is allowed to vote. Now, that essentially elitist and anti-democratic stance is what has fueled the democratic protests there, and is one of the reasons why over the weekend those protests turned violent, with thousands of protesters confronting hundreds of police. Now, Hong Kong isn't the only place where the 1% is worried that the 99% will flex their political muscle. It's one of the things driving voter suppression laws here in the United States. Now, in 2 weeks in the United States, we're going to have an election, and only 1 out of 3 voters will end up turning up to vote. But who won't turn up to vote are the working poor. Now, during presidential elections, there's enough energy and resources to make sure that the working poor are able to leap over all the barriers that they normally face in order to show up at the polls. But that doesn't happen in off-year elections. And so Democrats do better in presidential elections, and in off-year elections, Republicans do better. So 2 weeks from now, after you've gotten home from working your 2 jobs, and if you realize that you haven't had a chance to vote, there's someone at the top of the heap who's very happy about it. The last number up today is 260, as in 260,000. Now, according to the Wall Street Journal, that's the number of school fights and the like, which used to be referred and dealt with by school principals, which are now sent to the police to be dealt with. Now, the problem with these referrals is that they create a pathway for a lifetime of incarceration for Black and brown boys in particular, who make up a minority of school students, but who make up 70% of the referrals to police. Now, as I wrote today in Color Lines' Life Cycle of Inequity series on Black men, this is no accident. And no, I don't believe it's a conspiracy. It's not like Kris Jenner supposedly, allegedly keeping secret the father of Khloe. No, but it is not an accident. And the problem is that we're always supposed to walk around feeling afraid of Black men, like at any moment they could freak out and wreak havoc, when the reality is that Black and brown men end up navigating a system which does nothing but commit violence against them their whole lives and makes it harder for them to make ends meet, such that Black boys end up growing up in poverty rates 3 times that of anybody else and are 10 times more likely to be the victims of homicide. But this is a problem we don't want to talk about and that we don't want to acknowledge. And you know what? We won't be able to fix it until we do so, because you can't fix problems that you don't see.